All right, I got a short video here. Hopefully it'll be a short video because I want to know if this bush hog will run again. You know what happened today? I was bush hogging around a pond. That's what happened. And it got out of control. Well, okay, I'm just not strong enough to hold it back. It went down in the pond and it sunk completely. The only thing sticking out was the handlebars. And it was running while it did it. So, you know, that's going to need some attention. Don't think the gas tank was all the way underwater. I think the cap was sticking out and then the bars here was pretty much sticking out of water. So pulled my old tractor out and we dragged her out. I had to drag her all the way across the pond because the backside here was up against a flat bank and I just couldn't get it over there. And this thing weighs 600-700 pounds, I think. So my old butt wasn't trying to break my back. I'm still a little sore. I'm gonna need a beer. Anyway, trying to assess this thing. You know, it's hydrolocked right now. I'm sure there's water in the engine. It sucked it all in. And when I got it out, I didn't even try to turn it over yet because I know water went in there. I know water went in the intake of the carb on the other side because it was up to about there underwater. And again, it was running when it went in and just sucked everything in and then quit. So I hope I didn't bend anything inside. And I did dump it over when I got it out. Man, about a half a gallon of water seemed like came out of the muffler. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, I'm going to put you in a stand and we're going to do a little bit of tinkering and see if we can get her to run. Here's hoping. Oh, and by the way, it's parked in this mess in here instead of a nice clean driveway because I don't want that all over my clean driveway, which isn't clean. It's full of chicken crap, oil from the bug, all kinds of stuff, but I don't really want to have to wash all that off my driveway, so that's why. Oh, yeah, before we get too deep into the will it run again part of this, let me show you some of the damage that I did to it. So yeah, I did the damage. I dropped it in the pond and then I yanked it out with a strap and thing tumbled all the way through the pond. There's no way to keep it straight because the banks are flat. I tried to get it over to a part that had a little bit of a slope to it and that was no good. It just rolled all over the place. About 6 feet deep in the water finally, completely submerged at one point. So yeah, the tank did go underwater. I forgot about that. So we'll see what that looks like. And broke the with this handlebar here, broke this shifter lever which goes here. So I can weld all that hopefully, but I know I can buy parts for this. It's still got stuff online. I can go back to DR and get what I need, but not wanting to deal with all that. I got a welder. We'll give it a shot. All right, I turned it around. I wanted muffler and spark plug side to be downhill a little bit. So first thing we're gonna do, hopefully that'll help get some of this water out of here. First thing we're gonna do is I already dumped this. So I told you got a lot of water out of that. Pull the plug, see if we can spin it over without hearing a bunch of grinding noises. See what we see here. Think there's water in there? Gonna pour out. Let's see. I don't see any water, but I'm betting when we turn it over. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? Full. Okay. Well, that was a good idea that we didn't try to start it. Let's just see what happens if we turn this thing over. Let's see, does it even still work? Everything attached up here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. I'd say there was a little bit of water in there. All right, so that's good. At least we got the water out. I don't believe we're going to wind up being able to use this oil again. I bet you this is slap full. Oh, yeah. What do you think? High water mark, normal oil mark. So all that's water, and then the oil's up there, and that's what coats the stick. So I bet you we got a couple gallons of water out of that. We're going to take out of that in a minute. All right, we'll come back to that in just a second. All right, I got it in the garage. I took the wheel off to get better access to the oil drain. We're going to see about how much water's in this thing. I remember I had this out, and after sitting for a minute, it kind of moved its way down, but still, that's way too much oil in there, right? It's not all oil. Water's probably about that high, and it's pushing that oil all the way up. Now it's also sliced to one side. I've got it leaned over, and then I had it back, so it's making it look a little bit off on that level, but now I got it tilting toward the drain plug, and let's see what kind of crap comes out of there. Wow, that's on there. Shame on me. Probably hadn't done the oil change like I should. Hang on. All right, well, I had absolutely no luck getting this drain bolt off. It's just soft metal and it's square shaped, and I just couldn't get a grip on it. I took the wheel off, tried to get everything. Tried to turn that, wound up hitting. So what I did is I have a pump, pulled it out of that. I don't like using that because it doesn't get all the way, but this is for the purpose of seeing if this is going to run again and put new oil in it. We're going to change that oil again later anyway. So let's switch to the other side and let's check how much water may be in the gas. Let's drain the bowl and pull the air cleaner off and see what we got going on there. So let's start with checking how much water's in this gas. I think what I'm going to do is just disconnect it here. It's probably a little bit, I don't know if anybody made it to the pump or not, but let's do what we can to get some out of this line before we open up this bowl. I have it shut off so nothing should flow back in it, but I'm not sure how good that switch is. So instead of fighting it at the bowl, let's make sure we got a clear gas tank first. I'm just going to let some out and see if it has a lot of water in it. That's pretty well sealed, but I know that it's got to get air in there somehow. Otherwise, this would suck flat when it's running. So I'm guessing that it's got water in it just from being completely underwater. I mean, this thing is probably 6 feet down at the bottom of the pond. So we're going to see if we can get this off of here. Everything's going to fight me today. Come on. I didn't eat any Wheaties today. That's some old fuel line, so maybe we'll change this out while we're redoing this whole thing. Come on. Here we go. Did I break it? Nope. Okay. So let's see what we got in here, if there's any water coming out or not. I know my hands are all in the way. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that water. Oh, yeah. You see it? I'll get down there a little bit more. Let it do its thing. Why is it clogging up here? Hold on. Let's get it routed better. Use some gravity to our advantage. You open that. Look at that. It smells like gas. There may have been some in there, but I think let's see what we look like at the bottom of that bucket in a second. I know, right there, so you can see better, right? Let's check that. You know, maybe it wasn't water. Maybe it was gas. I don't know. I don't see any water down at the bottom of that. You guys? I'm not seeing any bubbles. I mean, I know it's got some oil on the bottom of this too because I used it earlier. I'm not seeing the water balling up and running around on the bottom like you normally would. Of course, it doesn't help when I have all this oily water and oily gas in there. Oh, smells like good gas. Maybe it didn't fill up. Maybe we got lucky on the tank. Maybe it's sealed well enough where it didn't leak in. All right, well, let's move on. Let's drain a little bit out of here. We can get that. You know what? There's probably not going to be enough in there once we pump through this. I don't think anything got in there if this has been doing its thing. Let's see. Let's put that back together. I doubt anything went down in there. But let's go over to... Sorry, make you dizzy. Let's take off that air cleaner. See what we got to deal with there. Just for shits and giggles. This is probably not got a lot of water left in it, but I'm sure it's wet. Yeah. So we'll take that off. That's probably, what is that? 3/8? No, probably 10 millimeter. Everything that you want to work on when you don't want to fool around looking for tools is 10 millimeter. So that, okay, let's move on. Pull out the big guns. Regular old adjustable. They fit everything. The magic. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm probably not going to edit this part out because I'm lazy. Just got to bear with it. If you're like me, I watch the dumbest videos about fixing stuff. And I hang on everything. I don't care what they're doing, I watch it. I just love wrenching on stuff. Working on things. I really like bringing stuff back from the dead. And this is definitely dead today. But I like finding junk in a junkyard or yard sale. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, yeah. All right, soaked. Of course it is. All right. Let's see. Can you see down there at the bottom? Let's see if we can. I'm gonna reposition you. All right. Let's get this bowl dropped and see what we got in there. I'm sure there's water in there too because it was submerged for about a half an hour till I got to it with my tractor. Let's see. You know, there is a drain plug on the other side, but this hadn't been off in a while. Let's just see what we're dealing with. Ooh, yeah, there's water in there. A bit. Environmentally friendly. That's environmentally friendly gas. Let's do a little squirt with turning on the gas and see if we can flow some water through there if there's anything in the line still. It's dripping pretty good. But I'm not so sure how my valve works or not. All right. Oh, you know what? It's not going to do that. There's a fuel pump right there. It's not going to just run through like I was hoping. I was wondering why I wouldn't get any flow. But let's just put it back together. This is... Oh, I'm a dumbass. It was flowing into here. I'm tired today. It was flowing into here. Let's do that again. I guess it does flow through that after all. Or maybe not. Maybe I was right the first time. It's trying to get in there a little bit. Okay, we'll go with that. Whatever was in there is no longer in there. Let's put this back together. Everything lined up good. Hope it doesn't leak after having it apart. Leak. Full of water. Put this back. And there is a drain plug on the other side, but it's kind of uphill, and I wanted to really see what's in that bowl anyway. All right, what's next? Get that mud off of there. All right. There's some water down there in that in this bin down here. Let me see if I can dry that out with something before we try to suck it back into the engine. We're going to purge the engine anyways. Still have the plug out. All right. Give me a minute. And we got to get a little bit of this. There's that water down in there. Open up. All right. A lot of mud. That'll be all right. This thing's been through hell and back already. It's a great machine. All right, so what's next? Let's see. We changed the oil, drained the carb, checked for water in the tank. I'm still suspect about the tank. I don't know what we're going to do. If we want to go back in there or not. The battery looks okay. Nothing came apart. Fuel pump doesn't look like it was damaged at all, being underwater while it was running. I didn't know what would happen, but okay, so let's turn it over and see if we can get it to spray some crap out. I know there's still some stuff inside here, so don't get sick. I get car sick easy. Worst thing to do to you, I know. Yeah, we'll just kind of get you right in there so you can see, because we're going to blow stuff right out of that blowhole right there. All right, you ready? One more thing. I've already dumped plenty of water out of there. There may still some come out of there. We're going to probably shoot it all over my phone. That'll be fun. So let's do this. We're going to move you over here. Just got that phone. All right. So we added oil, new oil. Think that the gas is fine, but we're not going to try to start it yet. Plug is out. Drained pretty much everything that had water in it. If we're forgetting something, let me know. I'm going to try to crank it. Ready? What do you think? We got a bunch of crap flying out still? All right. Not too much. Well, I'm going to go ahead and button it all back up. Let's see if we can get this thing to kick over. It'll fire it all. All right, moment of truth. It sounded good turning it over, so I don't think we bent anything when it sucked in all that water when it was running in the pond. So it sounded good, nothing clanky, clatter, or whatever. So again, we changed the oil. We cleaned out the carb water that was in there. We drained some gas out of there. I think there was a little bit of water in there. We'll have to find out. I'm betting it's going to run like crap if it runs at all right away. It might take a little bit of starting fluid to get it going, but yeah, so it's probably not going to run great because there's still a little bit of water probably in that carb. And if that gas that it's not sucking from here doesn't have just complete water on the bottom still, we should get it to pop and fart. But in the meantime, if I have to, I'll hit it with ether. We'll see. You ready? Let's see what we got. Contact. Still work, hopefully. Come on, man. What a mess! All right. Well, it won't idle great because I think I've got this. This is all jacked up in here from being torn up. So I'm not getting the throw I need, but it did run down. What a load of crap came out of there, but that's good to know. Everything came out. It spewed it everywhere, puked all what was left in there. Runs good. It's a little sketchy still. I think there's some water still in there. Probably we'll deal with that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and drain that tank. Probably a quarter gallon in there, half a gallon, whatever. It's not worth it, but the old machine, thing's going to live. Next step is going to be to figure out, here, let me take you with me on this one. A little field trip here. So all the other damages, right, tore up the handlebar on there. That used to go somewhere up in there. That piece goes there, and this is all bent here. Again, this selector rod for the shifter attaches up here. There it is. Fix that. This cable broke loose. That's the blade and gauge cable, so I'll have to get a new one of those. I probably could buy this, but I may try. That's going to be a tough one to weld right there. I'm not sure what kind of metal this is, how strong that's going to be, because it's got a bolt hole through it right there too. So that's what this used to be right here. That bolted up there. See the other side like that. So sorry about the finger. Well, that's about it for today, I think, on this. We know it runs again. I think it'll come back. It's just a matter of, you know, coming out here and spending a little time on it and getting little parts here and there for it. I don't really need it anymore this season. I can always use it, but it's definitely not going to go around that pond anymore. That thing, it's tried to suck it in half a dozen times, and this today was the worst. Not doing that again. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.